You're listening to this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. It would greatly benefit the show.
You gonna do a slurp?
Do it. Do the slurp. She wants to do a slurp. Let her do a big slurp.
Okay.
That's acting right there.
Nice. Try to laugh at this part. Hello and welcome to Movie You're like that girl from Smile. All right. Hello and welcome to Movie Bitters with the Farx brothers. I'm Kirk.
And I'm Kyle.
I'm Nick, I guess, right? Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Okay.
The question is what your last name is. It doesn't matter.
We're joined by Kari Layland, director, actor, and writer.
She said she wanted to be known as an actress, writer, director, and then DP.
Oh.
We talked about this in the interview.
Yeah, but I forgot to write it down. My memory's that great. Like how you don't comprehend listening or something? What was it last time?
I only listen to women when they speak.
Yeah.
I took 7 pages of notes last night when I was sitting next to Nick, and I had already gotten 2 pages in our Google Doc.
I noticed.
Yeah.
I know.
You were probably going, what kind of...
In my right, I am like, you see, I'm like, what is he doing? And I'm like, yeah.
So that we could get this out of the way, Kari, what did you... We're not a review show. We're specifically going to try to find points of disagreement and talk through them.
Okay.
What was your... But for the audience to know, what did you think of the movie, like, positively or negatively? Not everything, just... Did you have an overall positive, overall negative, somewhere in the middle, mixed, you know?
Okay. Positive... It was lighthearted and funny. Negative, I feel like they crammed a bit too much in there, and it kind of felt like a parody. So I wasn't a huge fan of that.
And Nick, you hate animals, I think is what you said.
I don't hate animals. I love dogs. I love most animals. Right? Even the mice I found in my house, I've been sympathetic toward.
Well, to be fair to Nick, technically, what's that spoiler to say that Krypto the dog
is in the movie?
No, it's CGI. It's not a real dog.
Yeah, it's terrible, and it's like not very good CGI. Like we're in an age where we've been spoiled by like the Planet of the Apes movies, and it's like I feel like there's no longer like really any excuse for like CGI that looks the way the dog did.
I want to turn to the guest. How did you feel about the dog as a dog person? Did you like the dog? Did you not like the dog?
I liked the dog in the beginning. It was, oh, cool. Superman's got a pet. This will be interesting. But as the movie went on, I started to get annoyed with the dog. He's
not a good dog. Like, the point of the movie is, and that I don't think that's a spoiler, but he's supposed to not be a very well-behaved dog, which you get an answer for that we can discuss in the spoiler section.
Yeah.
At the very end, yeah.
Yeah, I just felt he was a little overdone.
Did you feel the CGI was off?
You know, the CGI didn't bother me so much, but I'm not really a CGI critic, so I let a lot of things go that a lot of people won't, but I don't know. It wasn't the CGI that bothered me. It was just more that, I don't know. He showed up too much, and it just got old.
One of the notes I was taking was every time he showed up was what it motivated in the plot, so that I could explain it in the spoiler section if it came into this. Because that was one of the notes I took every time was, here's why he's in this scene, and it's important because X, Y, and Z.
He was always like the last second savior.
Do sex, doggy,
yeah. Exactly. But you're not supposed to do that. Like, why is Superman? Why is Superman getting away with it?
I have an argument for the 2 dog saves you're referring to. Okay. But I can't do it until spoilers, so I will save it for there. What do we think of the Boravia Jarhanpur? The movie starts there. Mm-hmm. How did you feel about Boravia Jahanpur? And I'll ask this by saying, how much news do you consume in a week, Kari? Healthy?
How do you quantify news, too?
Well, do you read front to back 2 newspapers? Do you listen to Fox and CNN? Do you listen to the radio? There's several forms of news that you could consume.
Oh, that's true.
I know you take in NPR, for example.
Me?
Often you're listening to music on their website.
Well, I'm listening to Current.
Sure.
And then sometimes they do news.
Yeah, it's a Minnesota Public Radio station.
You're so offended, Nick.
Yeah, we're asking Kari how she consumes news.
I don't want to turn to me.
It's relevant to
I'm just saying
a movie about
shocked.
news people, because Clark is a news.
Yeah, so I, as far as the news goes, I have like a email newsletter thing I think it's called the Flip Side, where they show you. It's basically to avoid biased media. They give you both sides of whatever news story is coming out that week. And so you get to kind of know, like, oh, what's the opinion from the right? What's the opinion from the left? So that you're not like reading the same biased information all the time. It kind of gives you a little bit of both. So sometimes I'll look at that, and then, I don't know. I don't seek out all of the news drama stuff. I try and stay out of like too much political stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'll read articles here and there, but I wouldn't say I have like a regular thing that I read.
How political would you say Superman 2025 was? I mean, that's for anyone in the room.
I feel like there were like some things in there that resembled some stuff in politics, but when I go and see a movie, I don't really think about that stuff, so I separate it. So, I mean, I kind of got like the hints of, or the references to like the Russia and the conflicts.
So you thought it could be a Russia-Ukraine thing?
Could be a Russia-Ukraine or the Israel thing. It could go either way.
Or maybe it's neither. Maybe it's neither.
There's an invasion going on, and I don't know. But honestly, I just felt like that whole storyline was kind of unnecessary because, like, okay, in a world where super beings exist, like weapons and war thing, I mean, all you need is a superhero to come and change everything. Why would a dictator even bother with traditional war in a world where there are super beings? Okay,
so the counter bait to that is that what I like about so my brother noted, good point, and now I have to try and reach that with a counter. The counter is, do you feel that Godzilla is political?
I've never considered it to be political.
Godzilla I find to be extremely political because it's a reaction to us dropping a nuclear bomb on Japan.
Yeah, but it's after the fact,
greatest
not
act
during.
of genocide. Yeah, but because we drop a bomb on, the two places.
Yeah,
in
but
Japan,
I wouldn't call that political.
Well, the Godzilla is a metaphor for nuclear weapons. That's objectively true. Would you disagree with that?
Yes, but I wouldn't say nuclear weapons.
Yes, you're disagreeing with it, or yes it is.
Yes, I'm disagreeing with it.
Okay.
Because technically, would you call nuclear weapons political?
Yes.
Or the people who own the nuclear weapons? That's part of the political.
Well, the movie is about journalists and how these things affect our lives. Doesn't really affect me whether or not a nuclear bomb goes off until it does.
Yeah, but to be fair, it doesn't affect Superman's people or like Clark Kent's people, the American people. I want to say it affects people outside of America. I think that's the political angle they're going with.
Here's and Kari, jump in anytime here, and you can't say anything wrong as far as we see it because I'm going to do another justification for the show. Another reason for the show, he disagreed with me in the interview section. You witnessed that.
Wait, what do you mean? The interview segment has
it will
happened
be coming
yet.
out. But another purpose of the show is that it helps movies for there to be multiple perspectives on them.
Yeah.
So by us debating them and having different opinions, that is helpful for the movie. Now, Superman himself is a metaphor potentially for the United States, since you've opened that topic.
Originally he was. What is it? His original, it's not slogan, but it's
Truth, Justice, and the American Way.
Truth, Justice, the American Way, yeah. Practically, he's an American superhero.
Would you prefer Truth, Justice, and the Human Way as a metaphor for this movie, or punk rock? Or it's punk rock to be kind. Which one would you prefer? Wait, Kari, what's funny about that?
What is the American way?
Punk rock to be kind. I don't know. That's just funny.
Rock.
Did that rub you the wrong way in the movie when they suggested that?
No, I just thought it was kind of odd. I don't know. It was interesting. I'll say it was creative, I guess.
Creative, okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Nick, you must have had some. Which did you dislike more, the Human Way or Punk Rock is Kind? Or Kindness is Punk Rock is, I think, what they. That's something they.
Kindness is
where I
new
was
punk
sleeping.
rock.
Well, yeah, I did have to elbow Nick awake a couple of times, which was funny because.
Because like there's a CGI dog. I'm not gonna stay awake for a CGI dog.
I mean, without having actually watched that scene, if you just heard that line, you'd be like, what?
Yeah, it doesn't make it on its own. It's like, what do you...
Yeah, but I mean, in the context of the scene, it was like, oh, okay. I mean, I could see where they like ended up there, but the line in itself is like, oh, it feels out of place, but it made sense in the conversation.
Well, do you know what his new line is in the comics?
Do you?
No, I don't. So is it the human way? So
I don't
what does
know.
he say now?
I thought it was the American way. Like,
I mean, it
They-
was.
what
but
is
they
the-
changed
but
They
what
don't
is-
say American way in the
Yeah.
comics as much anymore now that
Now, but, like, what
the
do they-
legacy of America is open to
sure, but
discussion.
what did they mean when they said it back in the comics?
Well, I think the young Jewish boys from Ohio, when they invented Superman in the late 30s, early 40s, were looking at America as a good in the world because there was the rise of fascism in Europe. And Superman, there's early images of him, like him and Captain America going and punching Hitler, right?
Oh, okay. Well, now it's flipped. Now the fascism's here, so we can't do that.
Oh, okay.
So
So you think they should have called the movie Superman Legacy?
I don't know what they should call it.
The original title of the movie was Superman Legacy. I'll save.
I think it was fitting. I mean, that's what he was. The whole movie is about Superman and his legacy, quote unquote. Yeah.
Kind of like we are now reevaluating America's legacy. Is that what you're saying, Kirk?
Sure. Okay.
This is where the show goes. Is we're going to talk about a very populous piece of entertainment, and then try to really get down to, because the show. Nick, do you want to tell Kari how the show started?
How the show started?
How the show started?
Well, you and I were debating on Facebook Messenger about whether Gareth Edwards was the right director for Jurassic Park 7. And that's how it started.
And we got into, I believe, Israel Palestine on that one too.
Did we really?
It was some sort of geopolitical argument.
I'm sure it was, but like
we slightly.
there's so many
disagreed with each other.
geopolitical
Do you turn
events.
every movie into a political
Everything
debate?
turns into geopolitical.
I believe every movie,
everything.
period, is propaganda. Every movie is propaganda. It doesn't matter. Try and give me an example of the most apolitical movie possible, and I'll tell you why it's propaganda.
The Ravaging.
The Ravaging is completely a movie that has, so just for the audience's perspective, this is a movie that you wrote and directed about a virus killing people in 1880s, 1890s. Wait, you don't have a specific year picked out?
There's not a specific time period because it's a fictional piece, so it's a fictional world
So at the time we were moving out of the
that
cowboy
resembles
era.
the 1800s.
What era were we going into when, the great expansion westward, Manifest Destiny, then we go into the Gilded Age, right? And so what I saw your movie as being about was about how
Very
a virus
specific.
takes over the country once we've reached the other coast. And, it kind of reverberates back, and we hit this point where there was too much a disease of wealth inequality, and it puts certain people on the bottom and another group of people in a ruling class above. That's what I took away from your movie, The Ravaging.
Well, I think
I know none
you
of that's
are very
intentional.
much overanalyzing.
Yeah, that's one of the theme being political of Western, not the actual film itself.
Westerns and comic books share, they are genre exercises that could be appreciated on a surface level that it sounds like you enjoy engaging with, and I don't have any problem with that.
But there are
Godzilla
no
was just a monster movie to me.
There are no political.
The monster means something.
There are no political things that happen in the movie, though. There's nothing political
there's-
about it.
It's kind of woke because the women are strong, which I don't have any problem with. I like
Being
that.
woke isn't
but
political.
I don't like that.
Women
My
can
mom's
only be
basically
damsels in distress, and
Oh, jeez.
So wouldn't that make this Superman movie less woke?
How so?
'Cause there are a lot of women in distress in this movie.
Oh, I actually would like to discuss. I thought that there is a range of female performances in this movie. I don't think any of the actors did a bad job. I think that what you have a hard-nosed journalist, and you also have what should we call Lex's girlfriend, social media person
Influencer?
Influencer.
It's not being portrayed in the best light. Would we argue it's
She's very about.
It took me till the last third of the movie to realize that was Lex's girlfriend. I mean, she was always just around, doing that.
Yeah, they
and,
didn't seem to have much of a relationship.
Yeah,
she was just
I was like,
there.
who is she?
I
I know what they're poking fun at, but is she actually Lex Luthor's girlfriend?
I
or
haven't
what?
heard this argument made, so I'm just and clearly Lex is Bezos mixed with Musk plus whoever
Well,
else.
his face isn't like that, so he
Sure.
can't be.
What's that?
He
He's
can't be
Lex
Elon
Luthor.
Lex
Lex
Luthor
Luthor.
actually gets things done.
These guys.
Lex Luthor has always been bald.
Rockets in
Lex
his face and back.
Lex Luthor, I'm pretty sure all the way back to the comics has always been bald. So they're not riffing on Bezos.
Yeah.
And if
he's
they were
older
riffing
bald.
on
Bezos
Musk,
is riffing on Lex Luthor, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure he modeled
Thank
himself
you.
after a comic book villain. I'm sure that's what he did. Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Okay, you want me to read into the girlfriend of Lex too much? You're gonna hate this.
I don't care. Go for it.
Hopefully,
I
you'll
don't,
hate
I
this.
don't care. Go for
less
it.
than them. So there's a type of we'll call it. Is it okay to say pageant queen aesthetic that one could identify out in the world? As the woman in the room, is it okay for me to say that?
Picture what you're envisioning
And
when you
does
say
she
that.
kind of look like that in the way that she comports herself in the movie?
Sure.
Okay.
Wait, are you referring to like pretty privilege, or what do you? What's the
No, no,
pageant?
no,
Like
Yeah.
like dressing up all the time and wearing a lot of makeup
Aye.
and just really caring a lot about your how you
Appearance?
look to others in the
Aye.
world, and
Like an influencer
yeah,
might.
like an influencer.
Yeah,
yes.
but I don't.
And she doesn't seem to have much of a
But-
relationship with the person
But an
she's connected
influencer
to.
that's very about their appearance, and yeah, so.
I would compare it to there is this type of aesthetic that you see people, let's say women in the current presidential administration, that is associated maybe with the current occupant of the office and their history with beauty pageants, and that you see a lot of people like Kristi Noem didn't look like that when she was governor of one of the Dakotas. I don't care which one. It should be one state. I'm kidding. I don't actually believe that. I like that we have 4 senators over here.
Go on.
Land doesn't vote, but it matters. So what I'm saying is that I think they're making a comment on a certain type of aesthetic that the current occupant of the White House, surrounds himself with.
But they don't take photos. That's the other thing.
I don't know. I would not say that. It does not seem to me like they're
It's a
commenting.
reach. I get it.
Yeah, it's a hell of a reach, man.
There's
Yeah.
that. There the type you're talking about, which is like there's definitely the influencer type, like right
Sure.
that exists. But you're talking when you say like the type in the administration, the current administration, that's like a different type. That's like
Like how the first lady looks and the first daughter, and how Kristi Noem looks, and
Oh,
how
I don't see them as that type.
they're
not
more
influencers.
poised. I would argue.
Right,
yes.
they're trying to be more like poised and
Yeah.
I don't know. They dress more like the
Professional
royals
and,
and
like-
that kind of thing, as
Yeah.
opposed to like trying to look sexy and you know.
I
They're not
accept
going
this
to
as
show
a
you
counter
like
to what
a
I'm
picture
saying.
of here's a picture of my food I'm going to put on Instagram. That's influencer, but
Right.
like what's her name, Carolyn Levitt, like that's not that. Like that's like I'm blonde and
Well, Karen Levitt,
I maybe
think is
used to
very
be
good
in
at her job.
pageants, but now I'm going to tell you about why like Alligator Act.
But also
Alcatraz is
the
good.
last press secretary also kind of had a beauty pageant, and I'm not criticizing. It's like
Just
what all the
because
women
they
on
look
Fox
good
News
and
look
well
like.
dressed.
Yeah,
That doesn't
no,
mean
there's a
yeah.
different theme about like
Right, yeah, that's a different style.
but it's
The
not
Fox,
like
we were saying
pageants.
Fox News style.
reporters
Sure.
having like their hair done and their makeup done is a lot different from an influencer taking
Yeah.
selfies. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's both presentational styles, but
It is presentational, but it's a different.
I will
Different
take the hit
presenting,
on
yeah.
this one. I'll take the hit on this one to make the greater point, which is
Uh-huh.
the relationship between Lex and his girlfriend. I think is modeled in the thing that I'm describing.
Okay, you
Modeled
gotta
in
be more
what, though?
specific. Go ahead.
Like who in,
Yeah,
in
who?
your model? Who
Named
is Lex
model.
then? If Lex, I never even caught her name. Like if Lex's girlfriend.
Lex is Musk, and the girlfriend is Amber Heard, because I don't know why he didn't catch
you
any
can't
strays
make
during-
that jump. Both have to be in the same, I don't know, industry or people
Well, the
category.
whole thing is
They-
that he doesn't have much in common with her, but he likes the aesthetic of having her around. Like, why do you think Lex has this woman around in
yeah,
his
but
life?
Musk doesn't have anybody like that in his life, though. He marries a bunch of people and had kids. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
Well,
a
they're-
woman
I'm
dollar.
I'm
Yeah.
not seeing a
Okay.
connection like that. I see it as more like she's present there to
Yeah.
forward the story about the reputation.
Sort of like the
and,
dog.
she,
Yeah.
and I think she's there to spoof. Like she's just a random
Influencers?
a random character who can spoof influencers, and then they put her to like further use later. Like, oh, she's putting all this stuff in the background on purpose
Right.
But like that's all she is. Like nothing against like.
I'd just like to make it clear that this was all not a criticism of the president. This is adoration for his aesthetic. I'm kidding. I want to jump to.
I'm gonna keep that in.
Please do send it to the 1600 Pennsylvania.
Cut everything else.
So he won't feed you to the alligators then.
Yeah, he won't feed me to the alligators. So Nick,
edit that to be real interesting.
did you see Guardians 3, Kari?
No.
Okay. I think part of the problem I had sitting next to Nick watching this movie last night is that I was, I'm going to bring up somebody else that people have negative opinions on. Recently, and for good reason, Neil Gaiman once said, and so I acknowledge Neil Gaiman did things he shouldn't have done. But he said, do you know who Neil Gaiman is?
I don't.
Fantastic. He created Sandman. I'm trying to think of more popular things. It doesn't matter. He's a comic book writer.
I need 5 more examples, Cal.
Coraline comes to mind.
Okay. Seen that.
You've seen Coraline. American Gods is a book he wrote. It's one of his few pieces of literature.
I was kidding, but
I know, but you shouldn't have put me up to that because he wrote Marvel 1602. Anyways, he says that you shouldn't have someone evaluate something who doesn't like that type of thing. Like if someone doesn't like horror, you have a daughter who likes horror and a daughter who doesn't. You wouldn't say, hey, daughter that doesn't like horror, let's go enjoy this thing.
Right. Yeah.
And what I hadn't had confirmed for me until last night is that Nick does not like anthropomorphic fuzzy things.
It's not. That's not accurate.
Because I'd like to know what you thought of Guardians 3 if you could just watch it as.
Well, I thought Nick didn't like superhero movies.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh, did you not like the Fox or the?
Well, I never saw any of the Guardians of the Galaxy
the
movies.
Groot and those creatures.
But what I've seen of them, like what I didn't like about Superman is that like I could sense that the dog was there. Like the movie felt focus grouped into oblivion. Like the dog was there because you had to have a dog so you could make a toy dog for the 5-year-olds. And
I brought it with me.
Like if you're gonna do it CGI, we're in an age where like Planet of the Apes movies have great CGI. There's no excuse to have a dog that doesn't look real.
I don't understand. How did the dog look different from? Have you seen the Planet of the Apes movies, Kari? The newer ones, I assume, is what he's referring to.
I have seen all of the old ones, and then I've seen some of the modern ones. I don't know how many there are.
Yeah,
now,
even if you've seen like one of the new
But
Rise, Dawn, or War. What?
What's different in 2011 Rise of the Planet of the Apes than that's not accomplished in Superman 2025?
Did they use a real dog to model?
No,
after?
they use Gollum and they.
Did they?
They
use an actor to play the monkey, sure, but did they use a real dog to model? Like put the dog over.
Incorrect. Yeah. They did scan James Gunn's dog, who is not white, but
that's
woke then. No, that's
it's the opposite of woke. They made the dog of color to a white dog.
That's DEI.
Krypto's white.
No, that's DEI. No, like for the overall shape, sure, but like the movement is where it all falls apart. And I'm saying like
it's a flying dog.
That's not my biggest complaint with it. I'm just saying if you're gonna do a CGI dog, like. There's no excuse to not do it well anymore because Planet of the Apes movies have done it so well in the last decade.
Okay, but I'm trying to understand what's different between what Planet of the like. How does it look? I've watched those Planet of the Apes movies over and over, and I know you've seen maybe 2 of the 4 new ones. I've seen
Rise, Dawn, and some of War. I did not see whatever the last one was.
Kingdom.
I did not see Kingdom, but I assumed the CGI was good. Because the previous 3 were.
Yeah, this is a parallel topic that I think will put me on a back foot and you and Kari on a higher foot to me. What are your thoughts on the cinematography?
Well, I never thought like, oh, this was shot poorly. I never thought that. It looked good.
But I don't think there was any interesting shots that stood out that much.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really anything that I'm like, oh wow, that was a fantastic shot.
Wait,
what about I didn't have any.
Superman comes up from the thing that fell down. I'm not going to say. When a building falls down, you see Superman. That's mythic imagery being created, and that did nothing for anything.
What thing falls down? And
a building falls down, and Superman rises from the dust and stuff.
See, I had a problem with that.
You did? Why?
Because of the physics of it. It was like you can't just stop a building from falling by putting your hand out. I'm sorry, it would collapse around you.
Yeah. So you're not thinking of politics. You're thinking of physics. You're going, no. That you can't
Well,
just apply
okay,
the
you know,
pressure
you
there.
can stop a car or something because that's like a solid object, but like a building is collapsing around you and he's gonna like stop the whole thing with like 2 hands. I don't think so.
Sure.
I mean, I understand that this is like a fictional world and stuff, but you've got to have some kind of sense of reality and some rules of physics involved here of what's acceptable or not. And that kind of went beyond.
Spider-Man movies, like, here's the thing.
Right,
I don't... it's not like I hate like I was there in the theater for the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, the first 2. I never saw the third, and still to this day I've never seen the third.
I've watched it like 3 times.
Well, okay.
One of them was with
Congratulations.
children. It's great.
Congrats.
They liked it. Sorry, continue.
But like, and those I enjoyed, but like something went off the rails in the last 20 years where it's like everything is just about the spectacle.
Well,
and like there's no, like, I don't know.
Okay.
Like,
Kari says she took a step away in 2005 from movies. As people will find out in the interview that will be coming out later. 2005, 20 years ago. Is that how that math works? Kari,
that's it, right after Spider-Man 2. So that tracks.
Spider-Man 2 is 2004. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Kari, the question to you is: do you feel that something has gone wrong in the past 20 years and we've lost something?
Yes.
Whoa. Okay. Well,
I would agree with that. I feel like a lot of the films that I've seen recently, mostly in like the action type genres, have been they're trying so hard to take advantage of the new technology with CGI and all of that they've kind of lost some of the writing where, like, you know, the story it's all about like the visual effects and the action, where I feel like they could go back to you know, just write better stories. I don't know. Some of them just, they're not memorable. Like I've seen a lot of films that are just really action CGI heavy, but when I'm done, I don't really remember much about it.
do you care to cite some examples? I'm not saying I agree with any of you.
geez.
I'd just like to give the argument a chance to
I
breathe.
would like to tell you some examples, but I don't remember them.
Exactly, that's the whole point.
Because they didn't stay in my mind. I could go and look up a list of films that came out that I've seen, but yeah, there are few that I really remember details of, whereas, like, you know, back in the day there were, you know, films that I would watch over and over again because I really liked the story. But
Could I argue that possibly some of this might be the death of monoculture, and that you don't have a reinforcement loop in society to the same degree that you would have in the past? That would, you know, like there weren't as many movies that came out, and now the movies that do come out, there are winners and then there are losers that do not, you know. So when you think of the big movies last year, top 20, probably 18 of them were sequels or reboots.
yeah.
And I assume those are the more
There's a lot
movies
of
you see.
money grab kind of stuff. Let's make it because, you know, somebody's going to watch it because it's got a fan base, but they don't really try that hard to make a unique story.
If you had to put a criticism on the writing of Superman, the movie we're discussing, would you? And I know this is hard. We're in non-spoiler. We'll be getting out of it shortly. Is there a critique of the writing that you would want to posit?
I think they could try harder to. I think a lot of things just happened without you really like understanding why, and then they moved on really fast from those things. You know, there's a conflict, and then they quickly resolve that, and then they go to another conflict, and then they quickly resolve that and go to the next conflict without really like making me care about, you know, how are they going to get out of this one, and why did this happen? How did Lex make this happen? You know, they don't explain any of those things, so I'm just like, okay, so this is here, and I'm just supposed to believe that, and oh, there's action. I don't know. I feel like it could be more to tell the story of like how this came to be and make me care about whatever conflict they're dealing with. They could probably take out 2 of those big conflicts and focus more on a smaller handful of them and really build them more and make me as an audience care about and root for those characters more.
I can sense my brother who I can't see.
I would agree. Yeah, no, totally. Totally. Like, that's what I never know. The problem I have with the modern day superhero movies is I never know where I am in the story, like beat wise. Like, I can't tell, am I at the midpoint? Is this the inciting incident? Because they do so many episodic things that you can't tell where you are, like, and then suddenly, okay, now I know we're at the climax because there's a rift. There's a rift. And now I know we're in the climax because there's a rift. That's the only way I know we're in the comics.
There's also sky beams that come in a lot of...
Sky beams?
You know sky beams?
No.
Like
They
Avengers
were. I don't think they have
2012's
any
big
more.
Sky beam.
Yeah.
They don't do sky beams as much, but
Yeah,
sky
not
beams were a
anymore.
thing for...
It's something like it has to be the most obvious thing, like the ground is splitting, like and that's the only way I know we're in the climax, because I can't tell because it's
we're
so
coming apart as a country and we need to all
No,
rally
right.
around
sure
goodness.
no because the writing's bad because they cram so much junk into like the story. And it's so episodic that I cannot tell, like, was that the inciting incident or was that the midpoint? I know this movie's borderline 3 hours long. I don't have my stopwatch.
This movie before the credits was 1 hour and 58 minutes.
It's 2 hours and 9 from what AMC said.
With the credits, we
credits.
didn't stay for the... Because you didn't need to see them. And
No, and I would have fallen asleep
That's
anyway.
the thing that you should be fighting about is the length of the movie.
Well, it's objective. It's objective.
My watch says 58 seconds is a minute, so...
Too long.
But
Well,
no,
we
that's the
wanna-
thing. Like, I have no sense of the story, like beats and everything, and so
For the
it's like-
record, I disagree, and I believe we'll be able to get into it in
Okay,
spoilers.
all right, all
I
right.
appreciate that I have two opponents who are passionate and
we're gonna
Yeah.
great filmmakers.
I think we're gonna start punching each other in the spoilers segment. Alright.
At least Superman throws a punch in this one, other than unlike the Bryan Singer one.
Well,
Bryan
he
Singer one?
snapped a neck in Man of Steel, didn't he?
Yeah.
And
Those
everyone
are-
was like up in
I
arms,
was
like he
referring to
shouldn't
the-
have killed Zod.
Oh, you mean
that's
Superman Returns?
I was talking
Man
about
of
Superman
Oh,
Returns. He never
well,
throws
he
a punch.
caught a
in.
plane, so he was tired, alright? He caught a tired plane. That's a lot of work.
That's worth a few punches.
We'll catch you on spoilers. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening. For more JK Productions, find us on Instagram at JK Productions Team and on Facebook, JK Productions MN.